Maybe red wouldn't provoke a reaction in our brains so much if it didn't happen to be the color of human blood. From timber wolves to tiger sharks, most vertebrate animals have crimson blood in their vein. So we assume that's what color all blood is. But this vital liquid actually exists on a color spectrum. For example, natural selection has engineered blue-blooded invertebrates as well as reptiles with green fluids in their veins. Sounds impossible, but it's true. And we'll get to meet some of these curious critters today in our Wildpedia. In grade school, you probably learned that blood contains 3 types of cells. White blood cells, or leukocytes, help us fight off viruses, harmful bacteria, and other pathogens. Then we've got platelets, the damage control specialists that allow our blood to clot. Last but not least are the red blood cells. A core ingredient in red blood cells is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is partly made up of iron atoms, which give this protein, and by extension our red blood cells, a crimson appearance. So it's thanks to hemoglobin that we think red blood is the norm.
What?
Meet our first contestant, the New Guinea skink. There are somewhere around 1,500 living skink species that inhabit every continent, except boreal and polar regions. These guys make up about 25% of all lizard species alive today. They can be found in different types of habitats: grasslands, forests, mountains, savannas, deserts, and even urban areas. Skinks are often confused with snakes because they have very short necks, small legs, and a snake-like body motion. And these cold-blooded reptiles are such nifty escape artists. They have many natural enemies, including foxes, raccoons, snakes, and birds of prey. But if a predator catches a skink by the tail, its tail will break off and thrash around.
What? What the f?
This distracts the predator, allowing the skink to escape. The tail will regrow over time, but never as long as it was. Pretty cool, right? But forget about that. There is one thing that makes these guys stand out from the rest, and it's their blood, obviously. They have lime green blood. Like humans, the reptiles have hemoglobin-rich red blood cells. But these cells do not last forever, and when they break down, their bodies make a green pigmented waste product called biliverdin. This waste product is similar to when you get hit really hard and it leaves a bruise. Biliverdin is that greenish color that you sometimes see in bruises, and it is extremely toxic. Most animals filter this stuff out of their circulatory systems. For them, excess biliverdin can harm cells, neurons, and DNA. Yet lizards have a level of biliverdin in their veins that would kill a human. Moreover, the pigment is so densely concentrated that it overrides the hemoglobin and makes their blood look green. And not only do they have green blood, but they also have green bones and tissue. Such an unusual trait, isn't it? Now that you know why the skink's blood is green, let's move on to the next contestant. Mankind owes a great debt to the world's horseshoe crabs. Quite unwittingly, these marine invertebrates have become our allies in the endless fight against medical maladies. And it's all thanks to their wonderful blood. Horseshoe crabs are older than the dinosaurs. They've been around for 450 million years, which means they watched the rise and fall of millions of other species and survived ice ages. Horseshoe crabs have a tank-like body structure consisting of a front shell, called the prosoma, a back shell called the opisthosaur, and a spike-like tail called a telson. Some people think horseshoe crabs are dangerous animals because they have sharp tails, but they are totally harmless. Horseshoe crabs are actually just clumsy, and they use their tails to flip themselves back over if they get overturned by a wave. Though the horseshoe crab's shell is hard, it is very sensitive to the world around it. The crabs are especially sensitive to light. They have 10 eyes, a pair of compound eyes on the prosoma, as well as photoreceptors in other areas, primarily along the tail. Despite their misleading name, horseshoe crabs are not true crabs. They're more closely akin to spiders, and just like those arachnids, horseshoe crabs have blue blood filled with hemocyanin, or copper. But there's something else in their blood too. You see, horseshoe crabs don't have white blood cells, which should make them vulnerable to the many types of harmful bacteria and viruses roaming the ocean. But not to worry, evolution's given the hard-shelled creatures a different way to fight off disease-carrying microorganisms. These guys have cells inside their blood called amoebocytes. When one of these finds a bacterium, it secretes a rapidly coagulating gel that encases the microscopic intruder. Known to scientists as coagulagen, the substance keeps unwanted bacteria from spreading. This means the horseshoe crab's blood is the miracle vaccine ingredient that saved millions of lives. Which explains why this vital liquid is so expensive.
Nice.
Other than green-blooded skinks and blue-blooded horseshoe crabs, there are also fish with transparent fluids in their veins and insects with yellow blood. But we'll talk about these guys in another video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give us a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything from Wildpedia.